Hey, how you doing? Halfway through the week, here we are, Wednesday. I'm Steven. Thanks for watching, listening, whatever it is that you got going on. Appreciate it. So, can I indulge myself and talk about Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson for just a couple of seconds, if you don't mind? Anybody who knows me knows I've always loved The Rock. I think he's one of the greatest talkers of all time. I like a lot of what he does. And for years, he's been kind of considered box office gold. But his latest movie, a lot of people are saying are going to lose a ton of money to the tune of like $100+ million. Not true. We'll get to that in a second. I do think, and I've kind of said this for years. I mean, I had the pleasure of meeting him, still have the catering bag that he signed, did a couple of interviews over the course of the time, and, always been a super pleasant guy. He's entertaining, he's witty, he is what he is, but I also think he's this overexposed. Everywhere you go, especially now with social media, you see him all over the place, and I think there's a little bit too much Rock between the TV shows, the tequila, and everything else. He's in your face all the time, and for his brand, that's probably a pretty good thing. I mean, I'm not going to criticize what the guy did. $7 in your pocket to $700 million in the bank. Yeah, I think anyone would say we would take that, but for a while it was kind of like, oh, Dwayne, I'll start in just about anything The Rock Johnson, especially when there's money attached to the other side. And, not all of that stuff was of the utmost quality. I disagree with Black Adam. I liked it. I don't think it was the greatest comic book superhero movie that I've ever seen, but I think nowadays when it comes to comic book superhero movies, if you don't make $1 billion at the box office, it's considered a failure. And they were saying that this thing needed to make $600 million to be successful, and clearly it fell short. It's going to wrap up at probably $400 million when it's all said and done. And it wasn't a bad movie. It was just kind of jumbled together. And this whole Warner Brothers thing hasn't had a plan from day one. And that's kind of cost them. The difference between them and what Marvel and Disney are doing is, Kevin Feige's there. There's a plan in place. They follow it. The last group of Marvel stuff hasn't been the best, but I have a feeling that they'll get back to what we liked. But it was hard to recover from Endgame. They stuck the landing on that more than anything else. And, we had 10 years to fall in love with all those characters. Warner Brothers on their side is trying to rush it, and you put out a character like Black Adam, who not many people know. The Rock's starring in the movie because he thinks he looks like the comic book character and kind of threw it out there, but people, it's not a household name. And I think if you're going to build a franchise in a universe, you got to start with a household name. You got to get Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman right before you go any further. Anyway, I'm getting so comic book nerdy and geeky that it is what it is. But I do give The Rock credit for being who he is and doing what he was. And this was a passion project. It's not going to lose money. When it's all said and done, it'll probably make between $50 and $60 million. It's got a pretty good cinema score, which means it'll probably get a sequel. So is it the rearranging of the hierarchy of things that Dwayne promised? No, not so much, but it's not necessarily a failure either. And, give the guy credit. He is The Rock. But if I was Dwayne, take some time off, dude. Enjoy all that money. You can travel anywhere. You can do anything. Give yourself a break. Have one of your cheat meals that consists of 15 pancakes, some sushi, and a couple of slices of pizza, and enjoy that life that you spent time building. Because I know if I was in that position, oh, you better believe I would be doing that. Have a great Wednesday. Thanks for watching if you smell what I'm cooking.